Most would say that providing loan advice is the role of the finance broker. In fact, that's what my clients assume that they're actually coming to see me for. However, what they don't realise is that discussing the finance is probably the very last thing that we even look at. The most important part of my role is understanding my clients' goals, developing a strategy, that ensuring that they've got the right structure in place. Having this type of expertise in assisting them with their finances is integral to them achieving their financial goals. Well, borrowers go wrong when they're unfamiliar with lending policy, and that's probably one of the biggest problems. There's been cases where there's been multiple applications lodged across a number of different lenders, and what borrowers don't realise is that each of one of those applications creates a credit inquiry against their name, which doesn't really look favourable in the eyes of the following bank that looks or picks up an application. So I would recommend don't actually lodge multiple applications assuming that you're doing the right thing. Pick a lender and go with it, and make sure that you understand the policy of that particular lender before you lodge the application. Another problem is, people don't really realise they're even doing this, but when there's multiple properties being used as security, there is a tendency for banks to cross-collateralise or tie the titles together. That exercise in itself, when it's realised, could put those assets at risk, or put the borrower's assets at risk. And generally speaking, if you have all your security together tied up, there could be a potential of exceeding or meeting the maximum borrowing capacity with that one particular lender, and then the exercise of untangling and refinancing to release equity could be quite costly in itself. Another problem is having their loans structured incorrectly. Most people buy their first property and then they come back, and when they've realised that they have some equity in that property, apply for an equity release so that they can buy for investment purposes. Now, without realising, some people top up their mortgage or their home loan. That's structured incorrectly. Then you have both a non-tax deductible and a tax deductible debt that have been tied in together, which for tax purposes is quite wrong, and it could have tax implications. And another common exercise is where borrowers don't read their loan offer documents and they sign them. The repercussions can be enormous and certainly costly to restructure a loan at a later stage. Look, I guess it all comes down to expertise, and there are certain jobs best left to the experts. I guess over the course of the last 18 years, I can quite comfortably say that in my role as a finance broker, I've seen that many financial scenarios that there is very little, if anything, that I can't find a solution for. My clients see me as an integral partner in the course of their finance journey, and that's exactly what I want to be. I would always recommend that borrowers do their due diligence. There are good and bad apples in every industry. Now, with the finance broking industry, it's now licensed, so a broker will either have their own licence or they'll be a credit representative of a licence holder. And this must be displayed on all their marketing materials, so if you can't see it, question them. You should always check the broker's credentials and their background. They need to be part of an external dispute resolution program and a member of an industry body as well. And most importantly, don't be afraid to interview them.